In this video, we're going to see how much money we can make in 1 week with a $10,000 account size using my exact trading strategy and process. I'll be breaking down my exact risk management and rules that I use in my trading. Then I will show you my live recordings of each session that I trade, showing you how I execute these trades in real time. Then at the end of the day, I will break down each and every trade that I take and show you my rationale behind taking these trades. And I'll show you how I manage it, whether it was a winner or a loser. Then at the end of the week, we can see if we made enough money to trade full time without a job. Alright, now we're going to go over my trading rules and risk management to make this happen. So my first rule is going to be take 1 to 3 trades per day. So now this is going to limit us to take only high quality setups. We're only going to be looking to take A+ setups. So this is going to help us avoid taking low quality setups or taking 5, 10, 20 trades in a day, because the more trades you take, the more chances of you giving back your profits or even losing money in your account. Now going on to rule number 2, we're going to be using the 20/20 rule. So what that pretty much means is if we're starting with a $10,000 account, we're going to only use 20% of that account. So we're going to use $2,000 max position size. And then what we're going to be risking is 20% stop loss. So we're going to be risking 20% of our position size. So this helps us not blow our account or lose so much money that it's going to be hard to get it all back and make profit. So with that being said, right under that is going to be 20% max position size. We're going to have a $10,000 account, put 20% of that is $2,000 max per trade. And then max we're going to risk per trade, 20% of 2,000 is going to be $400. So as you can see, it's going to have to take a lot of trades and a lot of losing back to back to blow our account. So this is going to help us and have a nice cushion under us that we're going to be safe and we know we're not going to blow our account. Going down to our fourth rule here is going to be having a daily drawdown limit. So once we hit this certain number of daily drawdown, we have to walk away from the computer no matter what. And that's going to be $1,000. So if I'm down 1K on the day, I have to walk away no matter what. I have to close all of my trades and just walk away for the day. And this allows us to not continue the snowball effect of losing trades. Last but not least, we are never ever going to revenge trade. We're going to avoid going into a trade just to make back our losses, because revenge trading is emotional trading. And that's something you never want to do, because most of the time you will just take a low quality losing trade and you're going to give back more money, making you more emotional, which is going to make you take over leverage trades and you're just going to wipe yourself completely out. That's why we have all these rules set to help protect us from blowing our account up. And final note here, we're looking for a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. So like how we said we're risking $400 max per trade, we're going to at least be looking to make $800 plus on the trade, ideally in the perfect world. So with all the rules set on the table, if we follow all of these and take only high quality setups, we should make good decisions and make good trades that will allow us to make a decent living from trading without a job. Alright y'all, here's day 1 and we took 2 trades here on this Monday, April 6th. So we took 1 trade here on Apple that got us over $1,800, and then a second trade that I cut pretty quickly and only lost $80 on AMB, which we'll go over later in this video. So we're gonna go over my Apple execution here. So let's just move on to the larger time frame here, to the 1 hour time frame. And as you can see, this 257 level here was a good resistance that was building up here on Apple. 257, 257, multiple touches on 257 here on Apple, and we had a lot of reactions here. And as you can see, Apple has been holding up pretty strong here on the 1 hour time frame. So if we take a look on the previous day here, this red box was our previous day high here on Apple, and this blue line is our pre-market highs on Apple. So before coming into the day, I was looking for Apple to hold above 256 here and pretty much give a nice push above pre-market highs and break 257 for some calls to the upside for this breakout. So let's play the tape here and see how I got this execution here live on my Discord. Later in this video, show you my live trade here on how I got filled on this Apple. So first minute of the day, we have nice strong candles here popping up and breaking above our 257s here. So within the first 5 minutes, we popped all the way up to 258, and this blue line is going to be our 5-minute high. I usually like to wait the first 5 minutes of market open before getting into a trade, because there is a lot of volatility and you can get faked out really quickly if you're not being patient and you don't get caught in the right direction. So as you can see right here, this green arrow is my fill here on Apple. We did a nice break above 257, and all we had to do was just wait for that nice retest here. We could have got the breakout, but I like to wait 5 minutes, and I usually like for confirmation where we get a retest and buyers start to step up off this 257. So initially this candle closed green on the 1 minute, tapping this 257. So this is where I got filled. This is where I called it out on my Discord right here. I got filled at 938 here. My average is 1.98 here. This is where I got filled on Apple, and let's play out the tape here. And as you can see, these red arrows was where I started to take trims and lock in profits here. Along the way, as you can see, I take trims while the trade is going in my favor. And we held a really nice uptrend structure on Apple. So I ended up holding one last contract all the way up to 262s was one of my final profit targets. So usually I would just keep holding until we break structure, but we did really good, and we did over 126% on the weekly contracts. So I sold my last runner here at 262, and that ended up being the high of the day. So we timed that really good execution here on Apple, and overall really good trade to start the week. Now coming over to AMD, this was a trade that I ended up cutting really quickly here, just because I was looking at the same breakout like Apple. I was looking for 220s here on AMD, a nice break above 220s here. If we go on a larger time frame, this was a nice resistance built up just like Apple here. So AMD and Apple were my two top watches for this Monday. But the only reason why I didn't like AMD so much was, as you can see, look at the 5-minute candle. The first 5 minutes completely blew past our 220s here, and we pretty much hit the 225. This was my profit target that I was looking for on AMD when we broke above 220s, but it happened within the first 5 minutes. And as you know, I don't trade the first 5 minutes, so unfortunately we missed this. We were unable to cash it. It just didn't give us a proper entry, and I'm not going to chase it. So as you can see, if we try to chase it after the first 5 minutes at the 225, we would have lost here. So the next best idea was to wait for a pullback all the way to our 220 or our pre-market high level. But the only problem was we had such a strong push up to 225s. If we pulled back all the way to 220, that's pretty much giving back all the gains from the first 5 minutes of market open. And usually when that happens, the stock is showing weakness. So we did get a pullback all the way to our pre-market highs around 220s. This is where I wanted to catch it, but it was just too weak for me, and SPY was looking weak as well. But I still followed my strategy and my system, and I got filled here lightly on AMD, and I just kept the stop a break below this last swing low here. And the first couple minutes we had a nice little pop, almost 10% on the contracts, but we immediately started to sell off, and I just ended up cutting it really quickly here. I was down 6-7%, just cut it quickly. Didn't want to hold on to it, especially how good Apple did us. You don't want to give bad gains here. So yeah, these are the first two trades of the week here, and we're sitting up nicely around $1,800 on Monday here. All right, y'all, good morning. Let's get to it. It's a brand new week here, Monday. Let's see how the first 5 minute closes out and see what we can catch. Nice break here on AMD above 220s, 221s. Let's see if we can close above to take that to the upside. Apple, we want to see a nice close above 257 as well, and then around 212, 213s on Amazon for some upside. So let's see what the market gives us here today. All right, let's see. First 5 minutes close here. Let's mark out our levels. Now let's see if we get a proper pullback here on Apple to take it to the upside. All right, I'm looking to get some fills here on Apple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get filled half size. I just got filled half size on these Apple contracts. And I got filled at 1.98 here. I got filled at 1.98 on Apple half size. All right, we're popping up to 10% here on Apple. We're up 10% on Apple. We're touching high of day here. Let's see if we break this and push. So we're back up 20% here on Apple. If you haven't taken any trims, I recommend taking the first set of trims here. We're up 21%. Now let's see if we could take out. There we go. We just hit 40% on these contracts. At the height of that candle, we hit 40% on Apple. As you can see, we're getting closer to our strike price. Our Apple contract just hit 50%. This is where you're going to start to see the value start to pick up a lot here once we pass 260. And it's wow, up 105% here on Apple, 105% on Apple here. We're sitting down like 5% on AMD. I'm probably just going to cut AMD here. AMD is just not looking too good. Honestly, I'm cutting AMD here. I'm down 6% only. But yeah, most likely just going to call it here. Feel free to fully sell Apple here. This is that final profit target I had on the day. Really good move here. Really, really nice move on a Monday. 126% here on Apple. I'm going to fully take profit here. And I'm going to call it a day. Really nice move. Good stock we picked. Good trade overall. And yeah, one and done today. 10:30 a.m. We're done 1 hour into the day. And yeah, I'm going to call it here. And I'm going to see. What's good, y'all? Today we're going to be going over our Tuesday recap, our day 2. And we ended up with only $200 today on the second day. And we're going to go over our trades. So we initially took 3 trades today. First trade of the day, we started off with AMD here. AMD, we were holding above this 220 level here, this support from the other day as well. So I was looking for a nice push and hold above 220s for a move to the upside. So as you can see, we opened up here on AMD and we broke above our 220 level and we got a nice pullback. And then once we started to push up, buyers started to step up. This is where I called out the trade in Discord. And as you can see, we entered here with a stop break below 220s here. And as you can see, we pushed up a little bit, but not enough to take profit. We're up about 10-15%, but the trade unfortunately sold off and we hit our stop loss, losing about 20% at the bottom of these candles here. Then after that, I've shifted my focus over here to Nvidia. Nvidia looked pretty weak here under our 175s here. So as you can see, we opened up and we broke back under our previous day low here, and we started to push to our 175 level here. 175 was the level I had marked out, and I wanted to see us hold under this for some selling pressure to come in and we could catch it to the downside. So as you can see, we broke under 175 here and we came to retest it. Then once we started to get a sell candle, I called this out in my Discord. We got into this trade and unfortunately we got stopped out again on the second trade. So 2 losing trades back to back, and I kept my eye out here on Nvidia. We popped up on the market and we came back down and we started to sell off. So looks like we got stopped out, but I do like to re-enter trades that still look valid. We haven't really broke structure to the upside on Nvidia and we still maintained under our previous day lows here. So because we didn't break our structure and we started to sell off back to our entry, I looked for a second re-entry on this trade. As soon as this trade started to sell back down to 175s here, this is where I got filled on the trade. And I called this out in my Discord, and this was the trade that actually made back our losses for the first 2 trades and gave us a little bit profit of the day. We sold off here at the low of this day. We were up about 65% on these contracts, and we started to pop up, and I scaled out and fully got out in profit here, making it a $200 day here on the second day. Here on AMD, watching AMD here, we're retesting this previous day lows. We can see if we start to get sellers to step up here, then we could look to take it to the downside, and under 215s is another level I'm watching AMD for it to break to the downside. So let's keep an eye out here on the market. Let's wait the first 5 minutes and see what we could catch. So far, AMD popping above 220s again here. We got a retest, and I do like AMD above 220s here. All right, watching AMD here for a bounce off the 220 here, off the slow support. I'm gonna load my AMD calls. I'm gonna load the AMD 222.5 calls here. Weekly expiration. So far, buyers are stepping up. I like how it's holding. I just want to see if SPY could hold up. All right, I'm looking to get some fills here on the AMD calls. I just got filled on some AMD here. I got filled on AMD. My average price is 4.25. I want to see if AMD could sustain above this 220 level. We could target high day and plus some. Keep a tight stop here on the downside. Oh, there we go. Ooh, 13% here. 13% on AMD. Very nice pop here. Very nice little pop here. 15%, 16%. I think we're gonna go here now on AMD. All right, AMD coming back down to break even here. I'm watching SPY coming out at 655. All right, watching AMD. I wanted to see a bounce up here. If not, I'll be looking to cut it. All right, AMD tapping my stop down 12-11% here. AMD close here to my stop. I want to see what SPY does here at the 655s here. I'm down 18% here. This is pretty much my max risk here on AMD. I just want to see if we get some buyers step up, but most likely gonna cut it now. Trying to give it 1 second, but any pop lower, I'm gonna just cut it. All right, I'm looking to cut AMD here down 20%. I'm gonna stop out of AMD here. All right, let's see. NVIDIA's giving us a retest. Let's see if we get some more sellers to step up here. All right, I'm looking to get some fills here on NVIDIA. I'm looking to get some fills here on NVIDIA, the 172.5 puts, Wednesday expiration. I just got filled at 0.94 here. Filled at 0.94 average here on NVIDIA. And we'll keep our stop at 175.25, pretty much that 5 minute low. See if we can break low of the day here on NVIDIA. All right, I stopped out here at 15%. I'm down 15%. NVIDIA coming back down. Let's see if we can get a re-entry. I want to see if we can close back under 175 here if we do start to sell off. All right, I'm looking to get some fills here. I just got filled again on the NVIDIA 172.5 puts here. I just got my re-entry here at 0.88 is my average here. 0.88 is my average here on NVIDIA again. Right. There we go. We're just hitting up 20% here. Taking my first set of trims here on NVIDIA. Taking my first set of trims here up 20%. Take trims and move stop to break even now. Taking some more off here. Tapping up to 30% here on NVIDIA. Taking more off here on NVIDIA. There we go. Finally, free flowing move here. It made us wait. But guess what? It was worth the wait. 35%. 40%. There we go. 41% here. Taking some more trims off. What's good, y'all? Today's the third day, and today was a $596 day. We took 3 trades, and we won 2, lost 1, and we're going to go over exactly why we took these trades and how we executed them. And so far, on day 3, with all of our winning trades added up from the previous days, we're up about $2,589. So we're halfway through the week, and we're up about 2.5K. So far, it's looking really good, and let's see how we can end the week off. So we're going to go over our first trade here on Apple was our first trade. So zooming out here on Apple on the 1 hour time frame, as you can see, we took Apple, the 257 break on Monday, and we made really good money off that. And then we sold off the day after. And then, of course, Trump came out with a ceasefire on the Iran war. So Apple shot back up, reclaiming 257. And our previous day high was around 256.50s here. So if we zoom in on the 15-minute time frame, we can see this was our previous day high level, and 257 was a main level we were watching here. So when we came here on the open on Apple, I was looking for a bounce off 257 and some buyers to step up to take it to the upside. So as you can see, when the first 5 minutes came, we came down under 257, reclaimed it, and popped up. This would have been a good entry, but the reason I didn't take it was because it was 2-3 minutes into market open, and usually I don't like to take a trade within the first 5 minutes. So I waited for the first 5 minutes to close so I avoid getting wicked out due to high volatility and stuff like that. So after the first 5 minutes closed, we're here, and I waited for a pullback. We got a nice pullback here, a dip under 257. I really wanted this previous day high touch, but buyers started to step up here, and we reclaimed 257. So this is where I called it out in my Discord. I got in to the Apple calls here. I got filled on the Apple calls here at 942 right here with an average of $123 per contract. As you can see, we hit over 45% and I fully sold in profit. So 942 was this candle here, and we rode it all the way up, taking trims, and pretty much sold at 952 here. So as soon as we hit the top, we took a lot of trims off. The first sell-off here, we fully sold, got out in profit. It did push a little bit higher in the day. It was a really nice trade off rip, and we caught major gains real quick. Going over our second and third trade of the day, we took AMD here. So going on to our second and third trade of the day, we took this on AMD, and looking at the larger time frame here on the 15-minute, we saw AMD have an aggressive move to the upside here. And what I was looking for was AMD to pull back to the 226 level, which was that Monday's high and a high of our Tuesday, February 24th high. So this was a level that was respected a few times. So after this nice break, I usually tend to wait for a retest to catch the move to the upside. But with SPY selling off, I wanted to take AMD to the downside. I wanted to scalp it all the way down to 226. So going on the 1 minute chart here on AMD, I was looking at this 5 minute low here. I marked this out, and we bounced off of this level a few times here, 1, 2, 3 times. And as soon as we rejected the 230s and we started to push down, I got filled here on my Discord looking to take this down all the way to 226. Our first entry did about 10%, but it didn't give us enough to take trims and put a break-even stop. So we unfortunately got stopped out here at negative 10%. We kept it really light here on the Discord. As you can see, I got filled lightly here, so about half size. Got up to 11% and then stopped out 10%, half my size. But then we came up to 230s and rejected again, and I got a better entry full size here. And from this entry all the way to the bottom, we actually did all the way up to 35%. So 35% on second entry on AMD full size, and I fully sold AMD at 1058 here. As you can see, 1058 was the second green candle from the low. We locked in gains pretty quickly and we got out the day green here. I was happy on the day. Very crazy pop up in the market, so I wanted to play a little bit more safe. Usually when we have a huge gap up on the market or a gap down, we tend to chop for a few days and then start to get more volatility after that. So my mindset coming in today was take it easy and catch a few cash flowing trades and wait for the market to, level out from this major pop up from news. Now, after going over this, I'm gonna show you my live execution on these trades. Crazy pop here on the market happened overnight last night here due to the ceasefire here with the Iran war. Positive impact here on the market, the overall market. Every single name pretty much followed along here with SPY popping up nicely here. So what we could be looking here on SPY is you typically after a really major move like this, you kind of want to sit back and see what levels it respects. So we're pretty much back at the levels we're here in the beginning of March. That was a good bounce here on Apple. Mama let it be. Yeah, there we go. Still hasn't been the first 5 minutes of market open. I didn't want to take it too quickly. All right, I'm gonna load my Apple calls here. I'm gonna load my Friday Apple calls. I'm gonna load Friday the Apple 260 calls here. All right, Apple's starting to pop up here. I'm gonna look to get some fills. We're holding its previous day highs here. So I just got filled on the 260 calls here. My average is 1.23 here on the Apple calls. I just got filled here on Apple, pushing back above 257, holding its previous day high. And we'll keep a stop just to break under our previous day highs here. And let's get that 2-to-1 risk reward here. There we go. Buyers are stepping up. Wow, 10% already. A nice 10%. Let's see if we could double that up and take trims. Apple popping up 14, 15% here, 17%. Get ready to take trims, 20% here, 20% on Apple. Take trims, move your stop to break even. Don't let this green trade go red. That's it. There we go. 21%. There we go. Apple's ripping up. Taking more trims here, up 28%, 30%. Apple's ripping here. There we go. 31%. I'm out half of my position now. Break even stops. A little bit higher. We could just leave runners and see how far it goes up. Oh, there we go. These contracts are absolutely ripping. There we go. Exactly. Can't go broke taking profit. Don't want to be greedy, especially after the move we have yesterday. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm happy with this 45% trade. I'm happy. That's pretty much the profit target. Look, this is that 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. All right, I just fully sold my last contract here on Apple. So fully sold Apple here in profit. Really nice trade. All right, I'm looking to get some fills here on AMD. I'm going to just get filled on the AMD calls here lightly though. I got filled on the 227.5 puts on AMD. 3.66 is my average here. AMD up 10% here, 11% on AMD. All right, watching AMD here down 6-7%, 6-7. Seeing if we get a rejection here, but most likely gonna cut it. I'm just keeping a tight stop. I wanted to sell off. All right, I'm getting filled here on AMD. I'm getting refilled on the AMD contracts. 3.21 is my average here. 3.21 average here is my fill. Those small gains add up. Surprisingly, the small gains do add up over time. SPY's really dumping now. There we go. There we go. 35%. 35% on AMD. Pretty much hit my profit target here. Almost a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio. I'm on my last contract. Most likely gonna full sell AMD here at 35%. Nice 35% move. We're risking very little too. This is a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio. What we're risking, we made 3 times that. So we're up nicely here on the day. We should be really nicely up on the day. Almost a 50% trade on Apple. First trade we took. Then a small 10% loss on AMD, half size. And now full sized over 35%. All right, I'm fully selling AMD in profit here. Fully sold AMD in profit. I'm gonna just take my profits and run too. That's it. Boom. And right before 11 a.m. Perfect. Perfect timing. What's good, y'all? Today's day 4, and today was a red day. First red day of the week. We lost about $547 today, and we took 2 trades, both of them being loser trades, and we're gonna go over them on how I executed and how we lost. So the first trade of the day we took was Amazon here. Amazon, I was looking for a break above 226, our previous day high. And look how dirty we did here on Amazon. We got stopped out and it completely ripped up. It completely ripped up about $8-9 on the day. A very, very big trade missed out, and sometimes it's hard to catch every single big trade. We try to execute it as best as we could. So let's go on the larger time frame. 226 was that level. 226 was that previous day level here. I was looking for a breakout on that. So as you can see here, we let the day open up here on Amazon, and we're looking at break and retest above 226 here on Amazon. And as you can see, around 9:52, we broke above 226, but we didn't get a nice closure or any retest of any sort. So we got no entry here on Amazon. which is good. I don't like to usually enter on a breakout because this can happen. If we would have entered right up here, we would have got stopped out almost immediately. So it was good that we didn't enter and we were being patient with that. So Amazon came down, and what I noticed, Amazon was starting to form a higher low here, and we're holding above VWAP around 225s here. So when we came back down, we kind of bounced off this VWAP area, and then we came up, and around 9:59, this candle right here, it was actually a green candle because it wicked up. So I was looking for this pullback bounce on Amazon for it to hold up and break above 226. So around the height of this candle here, when it was forming, pushing above these candle highs, this is where I called it out in my Discord at 9:59. I got filled on Amazon, and I kept my stop a break right under these lows. So we got entered, and we almost started to wick back down, almost got stopped out immediately, but we held this trade. We held it for a little bit. We popped up. We got a little bit of green here, and I tightened up my risk just a little bit because we had 1-day expiration contracts. They were starting to decay a little bit, so I just tightened up my risk a little bit here. And unfortunately, we did get stopped out right here around 10:25. We stopped out on Amazon, and we just waited. And other than that, I wanted to see a break above 226 for a re-entry here. I didn't want to try to do the breakout just because we could have got faked out again. So I wanted a break and retest. We had a nice break here on Amazon, but we really got no retest here. So we had no real proper entry, and we never want to chase trades because we don't know how far they would run. But this trade ended up running really strong, and if we would have had a nice entry here, we could have trailed our runners all the way to the height of this trade of the day here. So we missed out on a really big trade, but it's okay, we can't catch them all. Moving over to our second trade of the day, we did take Tesla here, and we got stopped out here on Tesla as well. But let me replay the tape and show you what I was looking for here on Tesla. So as you can see on the larger time frame, Tesla's just been really weak, just making lower highs and lower lows here. Really strong downtrend here. Tesla was very weak, and as you can see, we are opening up close to this previous day low. So I was looking a break under previous day low for a trade here on Tesla. So let's go on to the 1 minute and see how this played out. So Tesla broke under our previous day lows here. We had a nice retest. We came down, retested again. This is where I was looking to take Tesla to the downside here. I was waiting for another retest, which was around 1026 here. I was looking for that retest. Sellers started to come in, so I got filled at the 1027 candle right here, and I kept my stop just to break above this previous day low. We got a little bit of green, but unfortunately we did get stopped out again on this trade here, with buyers starting to step up here on Tesla. We got stopped out right here, and Tesla ended up running up higher on the day. So after this, I had a few other setups I was looking at, but nothing really set up and nothing was too clear. And after taking 2 losses back to back, I usually like to take a step back and see if we can catch another A+ setup trade to get some greenback. But I don't want to force any trades. I don't want to go deeper in the red here. You never want to blow more money trying to save a red day. That's one thing you have to realize, is red days are going to come and you cannot avoid it. You can't always be 100% green every single day. It's just impossible. So we had to keep in mind that red days do come, and we just had to call it after this. After these 2 losing trades, I stayed on until about 11 a.m. and didn't see anything else. Wasn't too sure about any other trades, so we just called it and kept it a red day here. So with that being said, after this red day, we're sitting up around still $2,000 on the week here after this red day on Thursday. And now we have one more day of the week to see how much we're gonna be up at the end of the week. Good morning, y'all. Welcome in, bro. It's Thursday, April 9th. Let's get into it, man. Some of my top watches are already moving here. Watching Apple, Amazon, top watches here for some upside here if the market stays strong. Yeah, trading in the first 5 minutes is really hard. It's so hard because as you can see, almost everything, like Apple here, we had the first minute of market open, we popped above my level here. If we would have got filled, look at that nasty wick down. When you trade the first 5 minutes, it's like you got the size for like 0, like get ready to lose it all, or like get ready to make some quick gains and get out within seconds. Usually I just wait. It's kind of like a gamble the first 5 minutes. especially if you're on a cash account and like you can't reuse your money, and then if you don't get lucky and then you kind of lost money and you're like, damn, you have less money to play with on the day. Maybe if you have a margin account and you got like more experience and you go in and out real quick, catch some nice pump. Yeah, but it's more like gambling the first 5 minutes, honestly. Alright, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load my AMD calls here. Loading does not mean answer. I'm just gonna load my AMD 237.5 calls here. Just have them ready. Alright, we're getting a pullback here on AMD. We're getting a nice deeper pullback here on AMD. Alright, holding off. Holding off on Amazon AMD. Both starting to look like they're failing. Alright, I'm looking to get some fills here on Amazon. I'm getting filled on the Amazon calls. I'm gonna try Amazon calls here with a stop just a break below the swing low and see if we get back above 226 and over high of day here. I got filled on the 227.5 calls here on Amazon. Finger on the trigger, about to stop out here. Back green on Amazon. There we go. That's it. I'm calling it Amazon. I'm stopping out of Amazon, what I mean. Alright, I'm gonna load my Tesla put. I'm loading Tesla 335 puts here. Q's starting to break down even more. 335 puts here on Tesla. Holding on its previous day low. I'm gonna look to get some fills here on Tesla. I'm getting filled here on the Tesla puts. Alright, I'm stopping out at Tesla here. I just stopped out at Tesla. Yeah, ain't nothing we could do about it. I'm sitting red on the day. Down on 2 trades. Seeing if we could catch at least a retest on AMD. Amazon just left us in the dust. It just went. Yeah, most likely not gonna take another trade. Most likely gonna call it here. I don't really see anything else. AMD's not giving us that pullback. Amazon ripped. We took 2 losses here. 1 loss on Amazon and another loss here on Tesla. Calling it a red day here. 2 red trades. It's alright though, we can't win every single day. And yeah, it's Thursday. We had a really nice week so far on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So yeah, I'm gonna call it here, red day. And yeah, I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. Protect your capital. And yeah, see you tomorrow, y'all. What's good, y'all? It's the last and final day, and we made about $648 of profit on the day here on this beautiful Friday. And we're gonna go over the 3 trades that we took here. So let's get into it. So our first 2 trades we took here was on Apple. And Apple, if we zoom out, the 260s was the level we just been playing with all week here. We broke above. We caught that beautiful trade on Monday. Then we rejected here on Wednesday. Thursday we rejected, then broke above it. So 260s was the level I wanted Apple to break above and hold for some more upside, potentially getting back up to 262s again here. So when the market opened here, I'll show you what I was looking for. As soon as the market opened, the first minute came up and rejected 260s. Then we actually broke above it and retested this 260s with a strong candle to the upside. A lot of buyers stepped up here on this candle. So this is where I called the Apple trade to the upside and a stop break under 260s here. So let's play out the tape. And as you can see, within the first 3 minutes of the trade, we did get stopped out. But luckily for me, I was pretty much in this trade half size. I told everyone in my Discord, go lightly, just because this was the high of day. Like pretty much we're already at the high of day. I don't really like to chase trades at the high of day, but we did have room to the upside. I wanted to get some exposure, but the SPY was looking a little bit weak. So I wasn't fully confident to go full size on this trade. So I did get half size and we did get stopped out the first 3 minutes. So my judgment was good with Apple here. And if we keep playing this out, Apple eventually reclaimed 260s here and SPY started to become a little bit more stronger and hold. So this is where I took Apple full size. I took it up on this third candle above 260s. I called this out on my Discord and I got into this trade full size. So once I got into this trade full size, we got a nice quick TP here. I took some trims at the top of this candle, almost had a break even stop, and we luckily pushed up and hit our 261 previous day high, and this is where I just fully sold Apple, fully got out. Really nice trade here. And my third trade of the day was QQQs here. QQQs, we did have a major resistance above here, the 613s here on a larger 4-hour time frame here. So this is what I was looking at on QQQs here. So as you can see on the Qs, we had a major push to the upside here. We had a nice pop up, and we are coming up into a supply zone, which I had marked out here. So with QQQs in supply, I was looking for rejections here. And as you can see, we're rejecting pretty much the pre-market high and the 5-minute high in the beginning of the day here. So once Qs came back to this area and started rejecting again from the pre-market and 5-minute high, I was looking to take it short. And as soon as we had this nice strong sell candle, this is where I called down my Discord and got into this put trade. And as you can see, we had a nice strong volatility candle to the downside, reaching over 36%, and we fully got out in profit on this trade. And after that, we pretty much called it a day. And as you can see, we had 4 green days and 1 red day this week, a total of $2,690 on the week. And let's times that by 4, and that roughly comes out to about $10,760 a month. So this should answer your question. Yes, you can definitely live off trading income without a job. It's very important that you strictly stick to these rules and strategy, because if you steer away, or one wrong decision, one emotional decision could completely ruin your week and give back all your gains. There was plenty of times where I had a good week or two, but then that one Friday where I just lost a little too much, I got emotional about it and I went too heavy and I revenge traded, and I ended up giving back a whole month worth of gains. That's something you never want to do. So this does take a lot of experience, patience, and time. This is not something you're going to get into day one, first week, first month. No, this takes time and discipline to master. But this is just proof that it is possible if you stick to it. One thing to keep in mind is, no, you're not always going to make $2,600 every single week. Some weeks you're going to have bad weeks. Sometimes you're going to have break-even weeks, and sometimes you have a lot bigger weeks. Everything all makes up for each other if you just stick to the rules. In trading, not every week is going to be consistently the same amount of number. So you do have to treat this like a strict business and be really disciplined and on top of yourself, because you have to know that some weeks are going to be bad, and you have to save up and have money put to the side just in case you have those weeks. And that's when the good weeks come. When the good weeks come, don't blow all of your money. You want to save it to the side for the bad weeks that come ahead, because you're not always going to be green every week, every month, every day. Just know that this is a marathon, not a race. And one major view professional traders look at trading is how can they protect their capital, not how much money they can make. How much money can you not lose? Protecting your capital is worth more than trying to risk it for some more money. Protecting your capital is more important than making money, because if you don't protect your capital, you're not gonna have any money to trade with. But that's pretty much gonna wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know, comment if I should make more videos like this. And if you want to join my exclusive Discord, where I have a whole education section filled with so much valuable information and ebooks, and where I live day trade and post all my trades, link is in the description, or you can just DM me on Instagram and we could chop it up and see if it's worth it for you. Other than that, I hope you have a good day, and peace out, y'all. I'm gonna load my Apple calls here. I'm gonna load my Apple 262.5 calls, April 13th. Loading does not mean enter. I want to see if we can hold here. I want to see SPY. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just get filled half size, just because we popped up a lot. I'm gonna get filled half size on the Apple calls and see if we get a better pullback. But if it goes, it goes. We can have some exposure here. I got filled at 110 is my average here. All right, we're coming down. We're down 15% half size. Let's see if we can, how we close on this 1 minute here. Looking to add to Apple. Looking to cut my starter position here on Apple. So this is the reason why sometimes I go half size. You don't want to go full size on every trade, just because we had a strong pop. But getting filled at the high of day is just kind of more riskier. So, you know, if I risk 20% per trade on full size, if I go half size, I can risk up to 40%. So you have more room here. Let's see. I'm giving it a minute. If it can reclaim the 260s, then we can look to add and just keep that stop at these lows. But if not, we could just cut our half size if we start to push down lower. All right, I'm looking to get some fills here on Apple. I just got filled at 0.96. Same Apple contracts. Up 12% here on Apple. 12% on Apple. Apple tapping into its previous day highs here, 261s. Palantir still dumping. I just got filled on QQQ at 1 point. 0.02 here. It's gonna be my last trade of the day. Whether I win this or I lose, this is gonna be my last trade of the day. See if we can pull back to VWAP here. Potentially even a breakdown on the market. Just gonna keep a tight stop. We're playing 0 DTs. Make sure your size right. All right, there we go. There we go. Up 36%. Whoa, 36% here. Take trims. 36%. There we go. Oh my God, what's going on? What is going on? Make sure you take trims here. What? That's crazy. Take profit in 1 second. That's wild. That's wild. Y'all see that?